This to-do list will help you keep on track of your tasks for the week. First, you input the date you want your week to start. This will automatically put that date on the left-hand side of the task list. For instance, Sunday or Monday. Next, if you wish, you can input your objectives for the week. As a once-off, you can decide which of the 4 colors in the color selection drop-down you will allocate for each day. For instance, you could have your weekend greens, and the rest of the week with the color of your choice. Then you can enter your tasks for each day of the week. As you progress with the week, you can tick your tasks off as you have completed them. A smart addition to this task list is that you can report a task to the next day. You just mark this task as reported, and it will automatically add it to the backlog for your next day. As the week goes on, you can check your performance with several parameters at the bottom of each day. You can see the totals for that day. At the top of the screen, you can see your high-level performance for each day, including a percentage completion. On the right-hand side, you have high-level totals for all the tasks of the week presented in an easy-to-read and visual way. The demo has been done with simple steps-by-steps. There are no complicated formula, and the spreadsheet is being built from scratch in front of you. And if you are not too keen on the colors, there is a simple trick that will allow you to change those color schemes to whatever you wish. Shall we build it together?
Okay, let's start this tutorial. So first of all, I create 2 tabs, the one called to-do list, where I'll be putting the list, and the other one called settings. So let's start on the to-do list. At the very top, I would like to put a date here that where we want the to-do list to start. That will be the first day of the week. We'll move that to another spot later on, but I want to have it now. So I'll just put, for instance, 12th of December 2024, and I want to format it a specific way. So I just right click, I go to Format Cells, and I want to put just the day like this. I want to put the month fully spelled out, and the year maybe, actually let's go the full Monty. So just put 1 day, that means I will only show you the number. I put 3M, so that means I would spell out the month, and then I put the full year, which is 4Y. So this way, I show it to me this way. Here I'm gonna select 7 cells. This is where I will be putting the summary, 6, 7 of the amount of tasks. So this one, those 2 columns here will be a little bit narrower, so I'm just also gonna put a grid on it. That's it, just check, yes, I have 7, that's good. Now I'm just gonna leave maybe a few cells here, and then this will be to select the color of the grid. So this, I need to go into the settings here. I've already prepared a bit of the settings, so this demo doesn't last too long. So what I've done here is I've put 4 colors, orange, plum, dark teal, and green. Don't blame me for it, that's the way Microsoft named those. So this is in the new, just go quickly, this is in the new theme here. It's called the Office, so it's beyond 2022. And so I've selected, but I will show you later on how you can change all this. But the plum is this one, the orange is that one, the dark teal here, and then the green. So I just, here for that field here, I will be doing a data validation. And I will be using the list, and I will go to the source here. I go to settings, and I will be only allowing those 4 values here for the time being. Now when I go here, I can select one of those 4. So that in itself will not be extremely useful for the calculation. It's just for you to select something. But what I need to do now is I need to go and retrieve this, because I didn't want to have to do, Excel is all about conditional formatting, so most of the coloring will be done through conditional formatting. I didn't want to have to spell out this all the time, so I'm just gonna refer back to this number here instead. So I will be there are other ways to do it. I could have just named those fields, but I'm just gonna do this for the time being. So I'm just gonna do an XLOOKUP here. I'm just gonna do an XLOOKUP. So I will be looking for the corresponding number. XLOOKUP, so I'm just going to find for this into that list here. Into that list. I lock it, press F4 to make sure that it doesn't move. And what do I want to retrieve? I want to retrieve this number here. Same, I lock it, press F4 because I wanted to duplicate all those. And so this is, now you notice that when I click orange, he brings back 1. When I bring orange, brings back 1. Because the whole idea here is to do one perfect, and after you just have to duplicate it 6 times. I mean, there'll be some variations, some minor variations. Now I can start putting some days. You'll notice I'll do a lot of merging. So for instance, here, what I want to do here, I want to take the first day here. Okay, now I'll be doing this formula here. Let me just put a bit of a format here. What I'm doing here is I'm actually, well, if depending on where you live, you might not like the DMM here, but what I do is I refer back to this start date that we had here. I just format it more or less. So I format it and I use the text function in Excel to format it. And I put 4Ds, which mean that will really spell out the day. And then I put the day itself and I put month. So just to be clear for this one, I might just change that a little bit so you don't get confused when you work somewhere else or when you are somewhere else. So this is the date completely spelled out, and I'm going to extend it and I'm going to merge it to the next. So I'm just extend it a little bit here. Now, instead of having to choose if your week starts on Monday or a Sunday, I did want to have another option for that. What you can do instead is you move this starting date to a Monday. So here that would be, if you want a week to start on Monday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. So here if you put instead the 16th of December, so here you will have the week starting a Monday, but you put the 15th if you want a week starting on a Sunday, obviously. This is where you'll be putting the task. So it's up to you how many you want. I'm just take a random number here. And this is where I will be putting my status. So what can my status be? Now I just need to go back here into my settings tab, and I just need to explain this one just a little bit. So this is a very obscure number. I don't want to sidetrack this tutorial too much, but when you use your UniChar function, you can get a lot of strange symbols. So you have to look on the internet if you want to know more about this. But here, for instance, I've found 2 symbols that I like. And the UniChar number to use is those. So I have UniChar, the 10,004 gives this tick, and 10,132 give this arrow, and that's what I will be using to report the task to a different day, to the next day. But I need to name them. I don't want to have to do this stuff all the time, so I'm just gonna have to name them here. So this one I will call it tick, and this one I will call it report. And the names are here, tick and report are here. And now it's just a matter, I'm just gonna add an empty row here. Now it's just a matter of validating using this validation table. I'll just go under data validation. I put list once again, and for the source, I'm selecting those 3, and I make sure that there's a dollar value here, and I just press OK. So now I drag that down before I input anything, and now I can either put the task as ticked or as reported, or just not done. Nothing has been done yet. So I'm just going to input some random task here. Okay, and now I'll be able to say this one is ticked, this one is ticked. I can do a bit of cleanup. I can just center here. Okay, this is good. This is black and white for the time being, but we will improve this. So there is an area here where I will be putting the tasks that have been reported from the previous day. However, Thursday, Monday, we have no tasks to report because this is really the fresh start. Every week you will have a fresh start. I didn't want to start bringing back the backlog from the previous week, clean slate. Let's let's give ourselves a break, and let's just put that here and put that as a blank. Nothing will be here. But here at the bottom, I want to start putting some totals here. So I will be putting total tasks for the week. So how do I do this? I could do a count. I will count all the cells that are not blank. Oops, I forgot A. All the cells that are not blank, and I put all these here. No dollar value, I don't want to lock it because I want to be able to report that for the next days. Completed tasks. Here I want to do a count if. And I want to do a count if of this column here and how many are equal to the tick. Okay, so reminder, this is the tick. I've called that cell tick. So here I'm counting how many ticks there are. And next I'm going to do reported. So here what I want to do, I want to log the numbers. The numbers won't change as we change days, but we want a column to be able to change. So here, for instance, if I drag that down, I should keep the same. Here, the same check. And here, I just don't want to count the ticks. I want to count the report. How many have been reported? Okay, 0. But if I start reporting 1, you're doing this symbol here. It's showing 1. Now dropped. How many tasks have been dropped? So you do that at the end of the week. That will be done automatically. So that would be how many tasks there were at the beginning of the week, minus the completed and minus the reported. Okay, so that tells you that has been stopped. So how many of the backlog completed now? Completed. How many tasks did we do that we were not supposed to do? I'm just going to leave it blank this because for us being the first day, this is not going to be, you're not going to have anything in the backlog that will be here because we are Monday. So I'm just going to leave it here so we remember for next time. So backlog, do you know what it is? Backlog is, let's say, so that people know a previous day reported, just as information. So here I can do some extremely basic formatting for the time being here. I'm just going to put that here, a little bit aside. So, okay, so here this is, if I go back here, this is where we will put the day. So for the time being, I'm just going to put this one here. Okay. Here I want to put the total task for that day. So I already have that amount here, total tasks 8. And here I want to show how many I have actually completed just from that total here. And maybe as a visual aid, I just could put tick here, just a tick. I'll try to be a bit minimalist. Okay. Okay, now we can start putting some colors into this. So just as a reminder, I'm just going to do a screen copy of this so I remember which order the colors are in. Just going to bring that here. Okay, and I will be putting that here so we can follow that as we progress. So the first thing is this one, remembered. So this one has been merged. So I'm just going to do some formatting now. Actually, this is all we have to do more or less now. It's just do some formatting. So we have to be patient, but we want to do the first one perfect because after we'll be duplicating it. Now what do I want to do? I want to use a formula here. And I want to say, if this field is equal to 1, I want to put orange in that box here. But I want to be able to copy this conditional formatting to my other columns. So in order to be able to do that, I need to ensure that the column is not locked. But I do want the number here to stay always, to be always on the line 13 in my scenario here. So what do I do when this is, when this field here, just let's not jump, is 1, I want to put everything in orange. When I say everything, let's not get carried away. I just want to put the back and the color here. So I've done that maybe a bit too quickly. For this one, I take the top orange and I put the font in white. So the field orange. Okay. Do I need a bold into this? Yes, so I can just do the bold manually here. Now we can check. No, we cannot check yet. I have to put another one before we check. So this is what we'll be doing off a lot, duplicating. So I put the number 2. If it's number 2, you put plum. If it's number 3, let's call it blue. The dark teal, which one is the dark teal? This one or this one? Let's try with this one. And the other one, the 4th, is the green. Just going to put the green. Yes. Okay, now let's see if it works. Plum, dark teal, green. Obviously, you could put blue instead of dark teal. So this is good. Now, if you start to get a bit worried that this is not well placed, that's something we can change later on. So that won't be a problem for long. I will be formatting this column and that column separately because I want to be able to refer to always to the same field in all the days. So here I'm just going to start with this. So here, what do I want to do? I want to do the same thing. I'll go to create a new rule based on the value. And what I'll say to start with is I will say this field here is without the C. If this is equal to 1, but I want to put another condition here. I want to say if it is equal to 1 and the field is not blank. So I take the first field and I remove all the dollars and I just put the brutal different from blank. What do I do if it's 1? I want to put some orange, but I want to put the lightest one. So if I do this, 2 plum, light plum, which is the first one on the list here, the light plum. Here I'm just going to put the third. I'm going to say this is the blue. Very rebellious. Yeah, this blue might be a bit strong, so we might have to do something about this. And the 4, it's the green. I think this is this green. Okay, so that works. It's only put the green for the fields that are not empty. So what I can do, I want to actually to override all these if there's nothing with a bit of a light gray, maybe this gray here. So we know we have a better visual here, I believe. So now that's pretty much it for that column here. I don't want to change anything more, but here I want to put very obvious when the task is completed, because I didn't want to change the color on here because it's getting death by coloring. I will be doing a conditional formatting, I will be doing a new rule, and I will be using a formula. And I'm just going to have to do and again, because I want to, every time I need to check this field here, and I want to free up the C is equal to 1. What I'm going to do in this scenario, I'm going to put the strong, even this one will be too strong, maybe the one at the top, so it's consistent with the title, and I will do the field with this, and the font itself, I'm just going to put something white. Okay, but I forgot the second condition. The second condition is that this field here, removing all the dollar, that this field here is equal to tick. Okay. Now, I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to change this to 2. And what do we do for 2? We do plum. Free. Dark teal. And left with 1, 4. We'll take this one. Okay, we can do some checks for every color, and then so it seems to work. Let's see how it is for the other colors. So does it look like? That looks okay. Plum, dark teal, green. Okay. Now the only thing I wanted to do on this part here is just to put this arrow in red. So I'm just going to select the colon, and I'm just going to put the font in red, because that should be the only character on this colon here that is not a tick. So I'm quite confident with this. I think it's time we duplicate this and see how messed up we have done this, or how messed up this cell here. So if I just duplicate brutally like this. Okay, first of all this, we do not need this at the top. I'm just going to drag this to remove it. Now here, the first thing I want to do is I want to add 1 day here, just +1. So we are the Tuesday, so I refer back to that date here at the top, and I added 1. So here you go. So now what else? If I do plum only on this one, it seems to be working. Dark teal. Okay. So I'm just going to copy some different tasks. There's a little bit of variety. I'm just going to move this, put it as none done, not done, and I'm just going to do 1 here, tick, and I'm going to report 1. Okay, now what we didn't do before is just to the reported part. So this is something we can do now. Let's have a look. I'm just gonna merge those 2 cells. I'm gonna put here reported. So this is I'm just gonna put auto for the time being. Just I might remove it at the end, but as we understand, this is nothing that you need to put in. This should be done automatically. Let's have a look. Is that gonna work if I do the formatment on this one as well? Plum. Ooh, that works. Now I could do the same formatting here maybe. So let's see. This formatting here. I'll be pushing my luck. Take one of those, put it here. Now, how do we take, just going to put it a bit bigger here. What do we put here? So what we put here is basically what has been reported from the day before, but also what has been the backlog that we have from the previous day reported here that hasn't been completed. So what I will be doing is I'll be doing a filter function here. Now the first filter, let's just assume that we have some reported field here. So it's just going to put, let's assume this way we can report that formula all the way across. I'm just going to put a filter. So filter is to extract a subtract of a list of a columns of an array of whatever you want to call it. So here I'm just going to do a filter, but I'm just going to press the function key, and the array that I want to bring back is the full here. I'm just going to go crazy. I'm just going to take all these, simplify, and I'm going to include which column here as the report. And if empty, well, if empty, I think I'm just gonna leave it blank. Okay, so go to bed early. This was my task. This was my task that has been reported. Okay, so here I'm just gonna take this and I'm gonna paste it here. And then from this, I can do the same. I can just put done, report, or blank. So this is not, we're not fully out of the woods yet. We need to also check if that works when there will be something here. But for the time being, I'm just gonna, I've selected all these, although that includes a header, but as those fields are merged, and I will never have a tick or a report or anything. I'm quite confident that this is okay. So now the proof will be when we add yet another one. Okay, so a task here will be reported. So I just want to try another one here. I report this one, it's there, this one. So obviously here this is limited, but you can make this as large as possible. But I really suggest that you keep it relatively small, otherwise it's an invitation to report everything. And the cells that are not ticked or there is no report, then it's a mental break. Those cells here, they are just dropped. The task has been dropped. Now this is how I calculate it. If it's not completed and if it's not reported, we just said, oh, well, we're not even going to put that for tomorrow. We drop it. And backlog completed, that's something I can do now. Now in a total task, I don't want to include those. I want to have those separated. I don't want to muddy the water. This is something that has been right from the start, and are tracking the backlog separately. So here the backlog, I just had it so we remember it, but we don't have any backlog. So here to do the backlog completed, I'm just going to copy these here. But I need to make sure that I don't select that anymore. I need to make sure that I select this. Okay, so the backlog here, none completed. Okay, I've completed one from the backlog, well done. Okay, and here I put that here. Now we can keep doing this, I suppose. Yeah, I could do that in the end, but here this was the idea. So I keep bringing things here. Total of tasks 9. And the completed is 2. Okay, so now I'm just going to copy this several times. Copy several times. I'm going to become a bit more ambitious. Copy, and that should be it. So there's a lot of plum here. Looks like I've lost something here. Just tidy that up. All this plum. Let's just change that a bit. just go in a view and I'm just going to remove the grid lines here. Okay. And let's say, what do we have? Purple, blue. I'm just doing some check that it all seems to be working okay. Yes, reported, backlog, excellent. Let's continue. So here I'm going to do the same. I'm just going to go back here and take the date. Okay. So here, this is where I need to add +2 here. You need to add +3. There's so many ways we could do this, but at the moment I think don't want to overwhelm the brain with too much more formula. Friday, as long as remember how many are we here? 5. Yeah, 6. Okay, and here, put that here. First day, Wednesday, first day. Once again, here, if you don't like this part here, you could just still refer to this and add one, maybe something to be done. Maybe I'll do that towards the end. Okay, so now we have all this to fill in. Now, before we get too anxious about things, I just wanted to tell you this. If you don't like it, we can hide it. We just put data group, and then we have an option to hide it. So it does look better without it. So what do we want? Here, I want to calculate the percentage of completion. So here, 2 divided by 8. There's a percentage here. I'm just going to drag it down. Okay. And here, I'm just going to refer back to the total here, total task here, the done task here. Okay, so here I could actually be a bit tidier, and I would say okay. Here, if I have 0, then it should not show. Okay, very, very good. So put that down. You are allowed to have a rest day. I wanted to visualize all this quickly. So here what I'll be doing is I'll just be reporting this number here. I will hide it later on, so it doesn't matter if it doesn't look good. And I'm just taking all this. I'm going to the data bar here. And I'm just going to put it green. And then I'm going to amend it. There's a couple of things I would like to do here. The first thing, I want to show bars only, so that means I would remove the percentage here. The other thing I want to do is I want to put hard code the min and max to min to 0 and the max to 100, which is 1. Because here you only have done 25% and it shows that it's all done, so that's not good, is it? So I'm just going to do this. If I apply it, that is going to do. So if I have more ticks, so that should progress. So this is good, and also it works, which is so I think I wanted to be a little bit consistent with colors. We already have quite a bit of colors, but as long as it's one of the colors that is below, I suppose. The blue is usually the one to use when your screen becomes a bit overwhelming. So I'm just going to put it in blue like this. I'm going to put some information here. Here I'm going to resurrect this field here. So I'm going to put the dark teal as a background, and I'm going to say week starting. And what I'll be doing is I'll be putting this field here, but before I want to, and I want to give it a very light, I'm just going to take this orange here and I'm going to change it to a lighter color. I'm just going to put that up, light, 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 light. And so back here, I'm just going to take it, I'm going to put it here, and then I'm going to merge and center. And then I'm just going to put it larger, and then I'm going to put back this. So this is obvious. In this pale yellow, this is the field that users need to input. And here you can put some additional information. I'm just going to put back the... I wanted to put the week number. I think, yeah, for some reason, some people really need to know that. I can calculate how many weeks there are left. So here, in Excel, there's two types of week number. There is the week num and the week that is the ISO week. So I'm just going to put the week num of this here. And I'm going to merge and center. And let's see if I can copy and paste this. And here I'm going to put today's date. And I'm going to put today. Now, it would be nice if we had the same formatting here. What is it going to do? Well, it's a bit too big. Okay, so I'm just going to put some grids. And I'm going to put that in white. What is the N11? Okay. Now, objectives for the week, if you're into this, I can put it like this. I can merge. I'm going to take this and I'm just going to format paint it. And I'm going to put objectives. You could put absolutely anything here. Could be main events of the week. It lost the merging for some reason. And here you can go crazy. You can leave as much room as you like. You could have the option of a text box instead. If you want to do a text box, you can put a text box. That might give you more flexibility in writing, maybe easier to write than in a large fat cell, but I think this is good enough. Now I want to add some more of those here on the right hand side. I want to add some totals here that I will later on, I suppose, consolidate into a chart. Okay, so I want to put duplicate this. I'm just taking this just to keep the format. Here I'm just going to put some information. Tasks for the week. We'll worry about how we got those later on completed. In progress. In progress, does that really make sense here? There's more to be done, right? Outstanding. Outstanding. And here the times track has been the task was reported. It might not fit in. Time task reported. I'm sure I can find a better wording for this. So I'll have a look at this. So task for the week. So we already have all the totals here. So I'm just wondering if I could just do an auto sum here. Or is he going to complain because of the text? Okay, no, he seems to be okay with it. Okay, now, so here this is 59. Completed. Okay, for task completed, I'm gonna have a look at this total here, task completed, but I also want to check the backlog completed here, because here the backlog completed is just checking on the bottom part here if it's been reported or not. So here backlog reported, so it'll be this sum here plus. Okay, so here completed, so this is this plus this. Okay, 59, 16. That sounds good. Outstanding, so I'm just going to leave it this way, outstanding, or I should put maybe not completed. It's gonna seem like it's a difference, but when something was decided to be dropped off, then it should be not completed. It shouldn't be outstanding because you're not going to go back to it. So time a task was reported here. I'm just going to put here this total here. So here that doesn't mean that, I mean, you could have a task that's been reported several times. That's only going to count as one, because here we only count into the top here. We don't count those. So here this call family was here, it's been dropped here, it's been reported again here, and I don't think we should count that several times. So this is how it works at the moment. So I just need to change the formatting here. So as Excel doesn't really like when numbers are separated like this, I'm just going to have to create a very simple table. Maybe I'm just going to put it here, but completed with the settings. I just put it in the settings under this, so it's a bit better. And not completed. Oh, not completed could mean anything. It could mean reported, dropped, or the likes, but at least it gives you an idea of how you went for the week. And here I'm just going to go and fetch the total here, task for the week, and here the not completed that I had here. And actually, so I got this one wrong. This is the completed that I wanted. Okay, so here I'm just going to select those, and I'm just going to create a chart. Which type do I want? A donut? Maybe I just take this instead. Here I'm going to keep the deep blue, and here I'm just going to put a pale blue, palish blue. Okay, the final changes. I'm not sure about this purple here, but I just wanted to give a neutral color, so that's something that can be changed. What I've done here is I've just referred back to the week starting here. I didn't want to go back to this, which is a specific thing that I had to do here to put the caps on. I just refer directly here just to that week starting here, and for all the others I just add one to it, and then I can format it the way I want. I didn't want to have high caps here,